In this video, I'm going to analyze myself riding up a waterfall, or at least attempting to ride up a waterfall. What did I do well, and what could I have done better, and see what you can learn from my mistakes. So let's take a look. So to start, listen to the sound of my engine. Very high revs to initiate the movement, but as I get through the big hole that's in the water, you hear my revs are descending. So this means I'm able to hold traction even though I'm on wet, slippery rocks. Now I did not commit enough to make it all the way up the first ledge, but I got myself to the point where I was able to push up. After I get to that safe spot, I hold steady revs, and that prevents me falling back down the waterfall, where the rocks are a lot more slippery than they look. So if I'm not holding those revs, even if I've got the brakes on, I'm just gonna slide down and end up in the water. Let's take a look and see what I do next. So now I tried the push method, and it takes a bit to get going because my rear tire is in a non-optimal position. Really what I should have done is taken a look and taken my time and moved my rear tire to the left, and then it would be at an angle where I'd been able to push up. But instead I was pushing and wasting energy, and it took the time for my rear wheel to slide to the left before I was able to get traction. So this is where looking and thinking is so important, but so difficult when you're riding terrain that is either scary or difficult like this. So here, look how I roll the bike backwards and forwards in order to clear a smooth line. So any small rocks or roots or anything that's under the tire that may cause me to lose traction or go sideways, which is going to prevent me holding momentum, will be cleared by the spinning of my rear wheel and me going backwards and forwards. So here I'm ensuring that I have a nice clear line before I try and get up the next step. So I even check under the bike. I'm looking down to the left, looking down to the right, maybe a bit too much, but ensuring that there is nothing under that bike, because when it's as tricky as this, when there's no traction, when there's steep rock step like this one, you can't afford to catch something and lose traction. I'm looking under to make sure that I have a clear run up at that next step, because that's going to enable me to hit it with as much momentum and speed as possible. And when I say as much speed as possible, I don't mean out of control speed. We want as much speed that we can control and stay balanced with. After I have a clear path, I keep my weight back to the back of the bike, and as I release the clutch, I throw my body forwards, or at least that's what I'm supposed to do. I gradually move my body forwards in this clip, as you can see. So some of the things that I could have done better. I could have got further back so there was even more weight over the rear tire, which would help me with traction a lot. And if I was confident and committed and I wasn't scared, when I dropped the clutch, I would have threw my weight forward with more energy. But sometimes when the terrain is scary and tricky and there's a big drop behind you, it's not always easy to have that perfect technique. But it's why we need to practice those drills so that it becomes second nature. So when we are scared, we can still ride with that good technique. And as you can see here, I didn't quite make it up the step, so I had to push again. But luckily the push method worked. To ensure that the push method works, you need to hold low revs, especially in this scenario where we're on slippery rocks with gushing water coming down. And we need to hold the clutch near the biting point so the bike is just edging forwards, and we need to throw our weight forwards, pushing the bike. This enables that we hold traction on the rear tire, and the extra momentum is what helps us carry that bike over that step. Okay, this is the final ledge that we attempt. Let's see how it goes.
Oh.
So this step is the largest and the steepest steps that I tried. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous after watching my friend Pete try it, and he flipped the bike and landed on his butt. He was okay, but it was a little bit scary, and it's a lot higher drop than it looks on camera. For that reason, I hit it at an angle which I felt was safer. As you can see, what I did well is I managed to hold traction, the rear tire didn't spin, and that's because I wasn't trying to accelerate as I was going up the step. Now, what I could have done better is I should have committed with higher revs as I was pulling off, so the descending revs would have allowed me to hold traction a lot better than it did. But luckily I was still safe with this amount of traction. One more thing I could have done better is at least kept one foot on the foot peg, if not both feet on the feet pegs, to ensure more downwards pressure into the tire. This really helps us with traction, but because I was scared and I was nervous about falling back down, I put both legs out and had spider legs, which is not good technique, but it got me up safely and soundly. So I hope you can learn from my mistakes and also the things that I did well. If you enjoyed this video, check out the video on screen now. Thank you for watching.